Ciao e benvenuto. Hello and welcome inside the Milano Santa Giulia Arena. Game day 3 of the Para Ice Hockey Tournament at the Milano Cortina 2026 Paralympic Winter Games. Rob Snook gearing up to call what could be a dynamite matchup. USA versus China, first place in Pool A on the line. USA, four-time defending champions, seemingly perfectly positioned in their drive for 5. Declan Farmer proving he is full value for the title of best player in the world, leading the tournament 13 points through 2 games. China, with the USA as their role model, seems to have taken the next step in their journey to greatness, getting significant offensive production throughout the lineup. 9 different Chinese players have scored in the first 2 games in Milano. Both teams undefeated. First place indeed on the line for the winner of this one. It's the People's Republic of China versus the United States of America. And buckle up. Both teams 2-0 records, both defeating Italy and Germany by huge, lopsided scores. The captains of the 2 teams are getting ready to shake hands with each other and with the referees. The captains are Josh Pauls, who is in his 5th Paralympic Games. He's got 4 gold medals. No one else in history has done that. Wang Zhidong captains Team China. The referees in this game is referee is Kevin Webinger from Canada. Dylan Doffany is one linesman. Brendan Lewis is the other, both from North America. In net for USA in this game, bottom of your screen, is Jen Lee. His biggest save came in the first game on a penalty shot against Italy. USA can roll 3 lines, but keep an eye on the second with Declan Farmer and Brody Roybal, and they have 4 very strong defensemen. Liam Cunningham draws back into the game for this game. David Hoff, out of North Dakota, is the head coach of the United States. Gold medalist coaching this team in Beijing 4 years ago. USA fans are ready to cheer on their team. Team China fans are ready to cheer on theirs. China has done much to improve the balance of scoring in their lineup. Make no mistake about it. Yes, the left winger on the first line leads the team in scoring, Shen Yifang, with 10 points, but that's on a goal and 9 assists. Wang has been dynamite as his centerman, but they really have had balanced scoring through those first 2 lines. China using 1 forward short of 3 lines, adding an extra defenseman. And starting in net will be Ji Yan Zhu for Russian head coach Nikolai Sharshukov. This is a huge test for Team China. Try to stop Declan Farmer, who many agree is the best player in the world. Nichols, Evan Nichols, just 21 years of age, centering the first line for Team USA with Caden Beasley and Malik Jones. And they will go against China's Wang Zhidong at center with Xu Tianpeng and Shen Yifang. There he is. We have seen him score goals in bunches at other tournaments. This tournament, he has turned playmaker in a very significant way and has been really good at it. And we are underway. It is Team China in yellow. It is Team USA in blue. Malik Jones dances his way through the blue lines, got it across the China blue line, and here comes a race. Jack Wallace hustling back. The 2 number 8s collide in the corner. Wang and Wallace. 4 players all behind the USA net. This has all the makings of a really fast-played, aggressive game. USA intercepts that pass, and here they come to center. Wallace just out of the reach. And there'll be no icing on the play. He was across the center line. Malik Jones, USA already starting to make some changes. They will keep fresh troops out as much as they possibly can. USA will have a longer bench, we suspect. China with a slightly shorter bench, but again, improving their depth. Here's Wallace. Wallace had a huge game for USA in their second game of the tournament with 6 points, and he was a +8. Americans now have their top line with Brody Roybal, Declan Farmer on the ice, along with Bolton. Nice play on the blue line. Josh Paul's the captain, slides in, makes a short little pass for Farmer. That was the right play. Farmer spins away from the check of Shen. Look at this. And then Shen got some help and a chance to clear it for Team China. And they will. Zhu Zhanfei out to center. Shen got a hard hit. And this is going to be called on the offside as Song Jidong couldn't stay on the good side of the blue line. He crossed before the puck did. USA started its tournament with an impressive win over the host nation, 14-1 over Italy, and then followed it up with a 13-0 win over Germany. China played those teams in reverse order. It was 12-0 over Germany. It was 11-1 over Italy, but to keep in mind, it was a 1-1 tie, that game between China and Italy after the first period. And then the Chinese team turned on the afterburners. We're 2 minutes into the opening period here, scoreless. Haven't had a shot on goal yet. Two goaltenders, Jin Lee and Ji Hyun Shao. Here comes USA on the offense with Brody Roybal. Lost it though. Picked up by Tian Jintao, who's been dynamite in the tournament with 6 goals. Now under the stick of Wang Zhuzhang. Here comes China, but USA breaks it up with Noah Grove, who's been really strong for the U.S. in the tournament. 8 points already. Here comes Roybal. He's got Farmer. Here's Farmer, and he tried to dish it off to Roybal. Good collision behind the net as Brett Bolton got slammed into. The puck at the side of the net, and Zhiyan Zhao decides to cover it. China bringing back most of its players who won bronze 4 years ago at home in Beijing. Team USA has made some changes as they continue to, over the years. Look at this American team, 4 straight gold medals, 13 players returning from the gold medal team in Beijing, 9 who won gold in Pyeongchang, 5 who won gold in Sochi, and 1 who won gold in Vancouver. Here comes China with Wang Zhidong, but cutting him off brilliantly was Liam Cunningham, who I thought looked really strong in their opener. He was a healthy scratch in the second game, and he's back in the lineup for Team USA. They'll send it back across the Team China blue line. Xu Dianpeng drops it off for, now onto the stick of Shen. Deep in the China corner. USA continuing to roll its lines. They'll try to stay fresh as much as they can. Here's Wang. He had Shen cruising through the neutral zone. He couldn't steer it to him. Wallace runs into heavy traffic with Zhu Zhanfu. And China's going to fire this one off the boards. Will they get it out? Yes, they will, to center ice. But it's picked up and sent back in again. Malik Jones on the chase for it. Out there with Nichols and Beasley. Beasley in his Paralympic debut. He's got 3 goals already for Team USA, just 19 years of age, out of North Carolina. Beasley in behind the net, frees up the puck for Jones, spins away from a check, still has it, gets it to Beasley. And China kind of collapsing around the net. Here's Nichols with the steal. Huge test for this up-and-coming team. Shen does well to push it out of harm's way, gives it to Zhu Zhanfen. To be kept in along the boards. Beasley after it again. Jones helping out. China's going to clear it here. Will send it down. Will it go all the way? It will. An icing call against the team in yellow, Team China. That means they cannot make a line change. So one of the players who had already changed, as the fans watch on, had to be reversed. Not quite 5 minutes gone by here. Active crowd in a big way. USA's games have been averaging the second highest attendance so far in the tournament. You guessed it, the only team higher is Team Italy. Lots of school kids in attendance. We'd love to see that. Here's Wallace back at the blue line. It slides back. He lost his stick, but his partner was ready. Cunningham, it's a long shot on net. Zhao makes the save. Xi played in the first game of the tournament. He was 5 of 5 against Germany, did not allow a goal. U.S. team has played a very disciplined style through the tournament. They have only taken 2 minor penalties so far. China's power play has been excellent. Best in the tournament so far, but it's only through 2 games. 80% efficiency as we see some of the hits. Yes, we expected it to be physical, and yes, it is physical. Wallace is a really big body, and you run into him, even if you were the one doing the hitting, you're going to feel it. Wallace named best defenseman at last year's World Championships. China going with those yellow jerseys in this game with the white numbers on the shoulders. I hadn't seen them until that close-up camera shot. This is Chu Hu-Tao on the face-off. Oldest player on Team China at 40 years of age. USA gathers it in. Wallace sends it across the ice for Farmer. Slips it towards the front of the net. Brody Roybal waiting there where we call the back door, where nobody else, where the puck isn't, and nobody's watching him, and he almost was able to slip it in. This is going to come out back to the USA blue line. We're past the 5-minute mark of the opening period. Waiting for our first goal. Roybal up on the right side here onto the stick of Farmer across the blue line. He's got Wallace with him. He snaps one. Rebound. Pushed just wide of the net by Wallace. Perfect one-timer by Jack Wallace. Instead of waiting for the goaltender to readjust, penalty coming here. It's going to be against China, presumably, yes, and they touch it. And USA's power play is going to work. Believe it or not, only the 4th time in the tournament the Americans will get a chance to work on the power play. There's 2 chances by Wallace. Here's that chance for Roybal. And he'd probably say, should have had my stick on the ice. So, first power play of the game goes to the United States, and they can move the puck around like the Harlem Globetrotters, I'm not gonna lie. Farmer slides it back to the blue line for Wallace. He tried to get it back to Farmer, broken up by China. They'll send it out to center. Josh Pauls goes back for it. 33-year-old from New Jersey, Greenbrook, New Jersey. Here come the Americans with Farmer. Here's Roybal. Here's Farmer. He shoots, blocked, and tipped onto the net. Zhao couldn't cover it up. Now Josh Pauls has it. Does well to protect the puck, but it's going to come outside the blue line. Roybal just deals it back for Farmer. He's picking up speed now out of Tampa Bay, Florida. Here comes Farmer. Here he is. Left stick, right stick, snaps it over the net. And Chen Yifang is going to shoot it down the ice. China has killed off the first half of this 2-minute power play. Here's Wallace lurking near the Team China blue line. USA going with the traditional 3 forwards, 2 defensemen on the power play, but the defensemen, keep in mind, can really play offense. Josh Pauls has to go back and regroup with his teammates. Pauls, one thing he hasn't done yet in the tournament is score a goal, but don't think he won't. Here's Wong trying to feed it ahead for Shen. Won't be an icing, of course, because of this shorthanded situation. USA, though, gets back. Wallace just shakes off the check of Shen. He drops it back to Farmer. So far, Farmer has been challenged more in this game than in any other. He's coming off a huge game the last time out, and he had 7 points. Americans are going to dump it in, but they're going to run out of time on this power play. So we're halfway through the opening period, and China is staving off the mighty USA attack so far. Americans 0 for 1 on the power play. Here it comes to Eustace, little touch pass. And now Dodson slams into his man. Here's McKee, gathers it in. It goes back to Eustace. And China's going to bring it back to center, but couldn't really get past the center red line. Americans have had 4 shots on goal, just 1 so far for China on Zhen Li, who only faced 2 shots in his opening game of the tournament, but also made a penalty shot save, which was a monster save on his former teammate, Landeros. China's going to bang it out to center. Good play by Cunningham to get in front of it. Penalty coming, a delayed call here on China. They're taking their 2nd penalty of the tournament. It's a high sticking call, and the Americans are going right back to the man advantage. And if you're Team China, you just can't do this. You gotta stay out of the box against the team generally regarded as the best in the world. So the high sticking call against Song Xiaodong. Farmer, Nichols on this power play. Here's Farmer. Nice slide in there for Pauls. Gets it back to Farmer. He's got a bit of room. Does he want to shoot it? He wants to pass it to Wallace. He shoots it. That's deflected just wide. Roybal reclaims it. Dish it off to his captain, Josh Pauls. Takes his time. Flips one across. Farmer goes to get it. Out hustles his man to the corner. Here's Wallace. Left-hand shot. Stop. Rebound loose. They bang away at the side of the net. And it'll be wristed down the ice again by Team China. Their penalty killing is 5 for 5 in the tournament at 100%. USA wants to change that stat. Here's Roybal. Jams on the brakes and slams it in. Absorbs a pretty good hit there from Zhu Jianfu, and then some words spoken. Here's Wallace, swept away by Shen. Wallace gets upended. And here come the Americans, right back in on offense again. Farmer has it swept away, but good puck support from Pauls. Here's Wallace, he shoots! Big save by Xi. And it'll be pushed back out to center. Under 40 seconds to go in the power play. Nichols, he got spun around, but does great to stick with the play, and it will get pushed out by China. Good second effort. Pauls across for Farmer. Everybody aware of him on Team China at all times. Here's Declan Farmer. 13 points already in the tournament. Another penalty coming. Here's a chance for USA. The shot right through the goal mouth. They might just let China touch it. They do. So it'll be a 2-man advantage, but only for 2 seconds. And yet a 3rd penalty going to Team China. And you can't expect your goaltender to do this all day. But he has been dynamite, even using his head, Ji Yan Shao. That one just slipping wide of the net. So the thing about this is USA's got to be careful because Song is going to come out of the box, and they're going to make sure they maintain possession because he'll get in behind the defense. But he also wants to get in on the defensive side of things. Here's McKee for the U.S. and Eustace. And the puck's going to be pushed out to Noah Grove just outside the blue line. He got a hit from Song, who just stepped out of the box. Americans resting up their top unit here for maybe 30 or 45 seconds. And I suspect we'll see the Farmers et al. Right back out here. Will be sent all the way down the ice. Jen Lee tips it for his teammate Noah Grove out of Frederick, Maryland. He works the pass in for Wallace across the blue line. Wallace holds off a check, and he shoots. And G's got the puck underneath him with 3 of his teammates in full support. And here they come. 42 seconds. I said 30 to 45. 42 seconds is how long the second unit had to work. And here comes Farmer and Roybal as we see Wallace came very, very close. He's going to stay out, is Wallace. Nichols, Farmer, Roybal, Pauls, and Wallace, the 5-man power play unit for the U.S. Brody Roybal deals it back into the middle for Pauls. Josh Pauls shoots. He scores! First of the tournament for Pauls. You knew they weren't going to hold him off forever. And the captain snipes the goal that puts USA on top, 1-0. He waits, he's got the patience of Job, and he scores. Takes a look at the puck, just to make sure it's still there. Makes one little move, and then the snap way up in the top of the net. That is where the para-ice hockey players know to score. It's the hardest play for the goaltender to make. And on their 9th shot of the period, the Americans get rewarded with Josh Pauls' first of the tournament. Brody Roybal and Jack Wallace are going to pick up the assists. USA now 1 for 3 on the power play. Team China is going to need to stay out of the penalty box. You just cannot let this all-world team go after power play after power play. We've got a glove pass here, no penalty on the play. Josh Pauls, the only player who has won 4 Paralympic gold medals in para-ice hockey, and he's got a chance at 5. The winner of this game will win Pool A. Will play in the semifinal against the second-place team in Pool B. Who is that? We don't know yet. We do not know yet. It will be either Czechia or Canada. That remains to be seen. Less than 3 minutes to play, opening period. Farmer dances ahead for Roybal. Farmer follows up. He got it knocked away from him. And China's going to push forward with Liu across the blue line for Huang. Picked up by Roybal after the save from Jen Lee. He doesn't mind a shot like that. That boosts the confidence. USA flips it up to center. Here they come with Wallace. He might have a path to the net. Jack Wallace busting in, and he snaps it wide. Good collision along the boards. Cunningham front and center in that. Americans right back in again with Farmer. He didn't realize Malik Jones was right there. He would have let him grab it. Now Farmer heads to the bench. Quick change by the U.S. And they're going to launch the puck right back in again. USA leads 1-0. Less than 2 minutes to go. Opening period, final game of Group A. There's a shot wired over top of the net by Jones. And China's going to have a chance to clear. They will get it past the blue line. Josh Paul's the goal scorer in the game, swings it across. Nichols couldn't catch up to it. It'll be pushed down the ice by China. Might go for an icing. It will. Good hustle by the players. These two teams met in the semifinal 4 years ago in Beijing. It was a dominating win for the U.S. in that game, after China had a really impressive round robin. Right now, it's U.S. leading by a 1-0 score. China seems like a much more balanced team this time around. They had all the talent last time, didn't quite have the scoring balance. They haven't managed to get more than 2 shots on Jen Lee, and none from real close distance. Inside of a minute to play now. Opening period, 15-minute periods in para ice hockey. Dodson slides it around the boards. Grove comes in off the blue line, sends it across. Picked up by McKee. He slips it back to Eustace. Another penalty coming here against China, as Jen Lee is getting a workout, racing back and forth to the bench for that extra attacker. And for the 4th time in this period, with USA already leading 1-0, they are going back to the power play. It is an elbowing call. Wonder how heavy these sleds are. Not particularly heavy. They're actually quite light. 5 to 7 pounds or so, in that range. There once was a time they were a whole lot heavier. USA on the power play, looking for one more goal before the period ends. Farmer spins away from the check behind the net. Shoots and scores on the backhand. How do you like that? Declan Farmer, a cheeky little grin. It's a second power play goal. His 9th goal of the tournament in game number 3, averaging a hat trick. And look at this, he's looking. He's not even got anybody on China thinking he might be the one trying to score. Good work in the corner by the Americans to come up with the puck. Nice little spin play in behind the net. Farmer works his way out front, and with the backhand side of his stick, the hardest part of the stick to lift the puck. On the other side, you've got a nice little curve that contributes to a shot when you're trying to raise it. Here come the Americans again. Could they add one more before the end of the period? Who knows? Charging in, final seconds, Farmer! And he's stopped with just now 3.5 on the clock. Here's what the goaltender sees, or more or less, from in behind him. Wouldn't count the U.S. out here yet. 3.5 seconds left. Got to win the face-off. They don't in this case. So we were scoreless through the first 11 minutes and 46 seconds, and then 2 quick goals by USA on the power play. Halls and Farmer, 2 of their leaders. They lead it 2-0 through 1 period.
La chance en goal for the first period by the States of America.
goals at 11:46 from Roybal and Wallace. Farmer at 14:38 from Roybal. So Brody Roybal continues to add points to his totals. Amazingly, has not scored a goal yet, but when you contribute in that way, and he has scored some huge goals in his life, don't count him out. Don't count him out at all. USA dominating in the face-offs. Power play is actually 2 for 4. We'll get that sorted. This one just ended. But USA came in as the favorites. China as the up-and-comers. Shen Yifang, such a strong player in international play over the last 5 years or so. Really developing himself more and more each time. But it's players like Declan Farmer and Jack Wallace who had their fingerprints all over this opening period. Americans certainly had their chances early. You saw the referee's hand in the air, and that was a significant story in that opening period. 4 times in the period, Team China was shorthanded. You just can't do that against the best team in the world. And eventually, they're going to pay the price, and Josh Pauls will score on you. He did. A 5-time Paralympian in his 22nd game in his Paralympic career. Scores his 5th goal in that frame, but his first of this particular tournament. Jack Wallace certainly had his chances in the period. I don't want to call him just an offensive defenseman. He's just a great all-around defenseman who can do everything, and offense is a big part of that. Worth another look at that goal by Josh Pauls. Worth another look at that goal by Declan Farmer. A little razzle-dazzle. Look at this. Sell what you're not going to do. I love to use that expression to young players. You think they're going to shoot? Make it look like you're going to pass. Farmer does that. His team scores twice. They lead it 2-0 over Team China through 1 period. Ice hockey continues from the Milano Cortina 2026 Paralympic Winter Games at the Milano Santa Giulia Ice Hockey Arena. Rob Snook with the call as we continue this battle for first place in Group A, USA and Team China. Josh Pauls, the captain of the American team, scoring an 11:46 of the opening period from Brody Roybal, and Jack Wallace, a power play goal. And then it looked like we might be headed to the intermission with that score, but China kept taking penalties, 4 minor penalties in the period. And the Americans scored their second power play goal at 14:38 in an incredible play by the super talented Declan Farmer. Came at 14:38 of the period, and that's where we sit. 4 years ago, when China was the host nation in Beijing, they won their first ever Paralympic medal. It was a bronze, beat Korea in the bronze medal game. Since then, 3 world championships. They've been in the bronze medal game in 3 in a row and wound up in 4th place against Czechia. They're trying to take the next step. They're trying to be a top of the podium contender and a regular finisher in the medals. And this is a tough test for them against the mighty Americans, who are 4 times consecutive gold medalists and 5 overall in the Paralympic Winter Games. You know, interestingly, the first few Paralympic Games, the first 4 editions of the Paralympic Winter Games had 4 different gold medalists in the para ice hockey, but USA has established dominance since then with the 4 consecutive gold medals. You're wondering maybe where this sport originated, as we see Jen Lee in deep thought. It originated as the sport of sledge hockey in the early 1960s at a rehab center in Sweden. Grew until two Swedish teams played an exhibition game in the 76 Paralympics. It became a Paralympic sport in 94 in Lillehammer. And here we go. Second period action. USA in blue, China in yellow. Americans scored two late goals in the first. China looking to bounce back. They only managed 2 shots on goal in the first period. And it would have been interesting to be a fly on the wall to hear the coach's message. Here is Shen, gobbles up the loose puck, slides it across for Wang. And that'd be one he'd like to have back. That was looking like it could have been a dangerous rush, but the Americans nullified it pretty easily. Here's Nichols, his pass, just a little too far for Wallace. And now picked up by Shen across the blue line for Wang. He's got a bit of room and he just snaps it wide of the net. He's like China looks a little bit nervous here. They know that they have the talent to be in this game. Wang has the ability to shoot so much better than that. Just kind of misplayed it. Sent back out to center. 3 Team China players come back, and we have another penalty coming here. This is going to be a teeing call, I believe, against China, and the march to the penalty box just continues. Zhang. The good news is this will give him time to rest because he plays the most minutes of anyone on Team China. However, he hopes he can rest while his teammates are killing off the penalty. USA has 2 power play goals on 4 chances, and here they go on their 5th opportunity. I will say this, Chen Yifang is capable, if he gets an opportunity, to score shorthanded. He has done that in numbers. China led the World Championships last year in shorthanded goals. And here they go, trying to set things up for Tianjin Tao. But the U.S. quickly gets in front and will knock it away. Chen is on the bench right now, so presumably he'll do some penalty killing later, as USA is having a bit of difficulty getting set up. But they've got the puck on Declan Farmer's stick. He drops it off for Noah Grove. Back to Farmer. Dances through the center ice area, across the blue line. And linesman has said this is offside. Farmer looks at him and says, not so sure. I wonder if maybe Farmer blocked the view of the official on that play. The officials have done a really good job in this tournament in general. Dylan Dauphiny and Brendan Lewis are the linespersons. But the bottom line is USA will have to regroup and try to do this again. They do lead 2-0 in the hockey game. Here's Wallace. He'll just push it to the blue line. Eustace goes after it. Roybal follows up, gives it to Farmer, and this time he's stopped as he tries to sneak it past Ji Hyun Zhao. Ji does a nice job. He's got that pad sideways to block as much net as he can. He's got his stick on the ice. He's got his trapper, his glove hand over top of the glove. And that time, he had the answer against Declan Farmer. Still a minute to work, and then some for the U.S. on this power play. Brody Roybal, 6 assists in the tournament. Still looking for his first goal, but maybe he's not. Maybe he's happy to just be the man who sets up the goal scoring. But here comes Nichols in for Roybal. There's Roybal's first goal! Just like that, just what Dr. Roybal ordered. You want to get that one out of the way before the playoffs. And now all of a sudden he's got 9 points with a goal and 8 assists. 3 power play goals for the U.S. And we said it early on when the Team China killed off the first 2. You cannot keep doing that. And case in point. 2:22 into the second period. A game that China felt like it was competitive in, all of a sudden is down 3-0, and you've got the Stars and Stripes dancing on the ice and in the stands. Puck swatted at, pushed to the USA blue line. It's no easy feat for the linesman to stay out of the way, because remember, they're used to, none of them have played stand-up hockey. Here comes Eustace busting in for the Americans, cuts to the middle. His shot stopped by Ji-Hin Zhao. Just gonna say, finish the thought. A lot of them are maybe grew up playing stand-up hockey and have refereed maybe in the stand-up game. You have a better sense maybe of where the players are until you've done a bunch of games, because the players are coming in at you so low, and they're not like kids coming in at you so low, because they're not that kind of, their body weight is significant. So you gotta be really careful when they come in low at you to get out of the way. You don't want to be in the way of the game, plus you don't want to be taken down by the players. Teams are back to full and even strength. China has not had a shot on goal in the period yet. This is good. Icing is going to be waved off on this play. It went through too many players, says the linesman. Here's Wallace, finds Dodson, bounces off his stick, out to center. Interesting to see how Team China employs its lines here. This game is for top spot in the group, but you don't want to burn out your star players. And they'll push it up to the blue line, will Huang Zhijiang, but it's not out. Americans doing a nice job keeping it alive. Bolton races after it in the corner. Farmer picks it up. Going to be knocked out just to center ice where Wallace has it. And this is going to be an offside call. USA will continue to roll its lines, and now China is doing some of the same. Get a good look in the bench. You see the ice in the bench. Allows for the teams to really slide in and out really quickly. And of course, this would have been the kind of change that would have had to have been made in the last few weeks between the Olympic tournament and the Paralympic tournament. And that's something that's got to be thought of in the planning stages. A lot of hockey rinks in a lot of places in the world, you just simply could not do that. You've got to think about that as you're prepping the facility. Referee Kevin Webbinger inadvertently got in the way of that. There's a shot launched in at Jen Lee's net. He's going to hold it. And that counts as China's first shot of the period. It comes just past the 4-minute mark. So that last goal by Brody Roybal, assisted by Evan Nichols, comes at the 2:22 mark of the period, 17:22 mark of the game. Well, in case you've just joined us, it has at even strength. China is even with USA. It's 0-0, but on the power play, they have given the Americans 5 power plays, and USA is 3 for 5 with the man advantage. The benefit of having balance on your offense and just generally on your team is that you don't have to overplay. I mean, Declan Farmer came into this game with the most points in the tournament. He was only averaging 17 minutes a game compared to some of the teams that don't have the depth and the balance. That is a huge difference. They'll have some time to recover in between when this game ends and the semifinal. Here comes USA, busting out to center ice. Farmer takes the pass, slides it back across. And that was Cunningham, set up brilliantly by Farmer. looking for his first Paralympic goal in his career. The puck bounces in front. Ji Hyun Zhao came out of his net, and he'll be happy it gets to the blue line, but it's not out. Here's Josh Pauls. He's got Farmer. He couldn't slip it past Ji. He did everything right, but just kind of ran out of real estate. 5 minutes gone by here in the second period. Farmer just twists and turns and finds space where there isn't any, and he floats that one just a few inches over top of the net. He's got it again. Nice little move. Dodges one way, then the other, then scores! His 10th goal of the tournament, his second of the game, and it's 4-0 USA. Declan Farmer, you are something else. Folks, there has never in the sport been a player seen who has this sort of ability with his skates, with his stick, with his poise, with his attitude. I mean, it is just incredible. Yes, there have been a lot of talented players, and there still will be. But right now, this 28-year-old from Tampa, Florida, who, by the way, has a degree in economics and computer science from Princeton University, shows you how smart he is on the ice. We know how smart he is off the ice. If you're Team China, all you can do here is just try to win the next shift. Just try to win the next segment. Okay, guys, let's get to the 5-minute mark here. Either the same or with a goal. They are getting a master class. And here come the Americans again. That one squeaked through Ji, but just missed the net. Cunningham, really want to get him that first goal, don't they? Here's Wallace. His shot is blocked. Heavy traffic in front of the net. Beasley's got it. Works it back in for Jones. Managed to push it out front, but it comes right back in behind the net. Malik Jones tries to spin away from the checker. Team China finally gains possession, and they'll push it out to center ice. And into the zone, but didn't get across center. And because Jen Lee comes out of his net to play it, they wave off the icing. Wallace kind of blew a tire, and so Nichols comes in, then he leaves it. This is the rare bit of sloppy play by the U.S. What otherwise has been a really well-played game by them. And now everybody's back on the game plan. Wallace ahead for Beasley across the blue line. Good effort there by Che Hang to allow his team to regain the puck. And here they come to center. Wong. It was behind him, though. This will be... No, they're going to wave off the icing. Wong's speed negated it. And finally, Team China gets an offensive zone face-off. Well, you would have liked to have seen that long stretch pass find Wong. But let's take another look at the magic that is Declan Farmer. It's the way he moves his sled. It's the things he can do with his stick. It's his vision on the ice. You never know if he's going to be the option or if one of his teammates is. And his teammates have learned, and this is what you always need to learn in hockey, if you don't have the puck, your job is to get into a position, especially in the offensive zone, to be ready for the puck so that you can be an option for your teammate. Here's Josh Pauls in behind his net. He drops it off. Wong had a chance to try to center it. He couldn't. And the Americans come to center ice. No, they don't, not yet. Now they do. McKee across the blue line. Grove pushes it to the blue line. It'll be chopped back out to center. A little discombobulated here for USA from what we're used to seeing. But they can organize in a hurry, and here they come with Eustace. This might just be a chance. Snaps one towards the net. Maybe that was intended as a pass. Kept in at the blue line by Pauls. Shen picks it up. He'll drop it off. And it'll come to center ice. Paul's quick reaction there. He didn't see it, then he did, and knocked it away. This should be a chance here right now for China to try to get something going offensively. Shen just chops the puck in. Wang's gonna go after it, but Pauls is waiting there. Calmly pushes it off the boards, but it's kept alive by Chu, and he risks one wide of the net. Here's Roybal with the steal. He's by himself on the rush. Now they're coming to join him. He tries a little razzle-dazzle. Now it's onto the stick of Grove. Nice feed for Bolton, and he just missed it. China back to center ice. No icing on this play. Jen Lee pushes it off into the corner for Cunningham. And Team China on the forecheck, but Farmer was waiting there. Just calmly outweights Chu and then sends the puck out to center. China's going to dump it in, but they all have to clear. Now they do. Chu races after it, but the Americans are going to fire it out to center ice. And Bolton makes a nice play for Farmer. Dances around his man. He might get a chance. Another penalty coming. And it's a teeing call against Team China, presumably here. Keep in mind, USA has not taken a penalty yet. They lead 4-0, and they're going back to the power play. Here was your penalty. Allows David Hoff's team to go right back to the power play again. In case you've just joined us, USA has 4-0 lead. Their first 3 goals all came with the man advantage. They are 3 for 5 on the power play. Declan Farmer back out there again with Nichols, Roybal, Wallace, and Pauls. Going to send it to the blue line. No problem, no for Pauls. Tracks it down for Roybal. Long-time teammates on this squad, Roybal and Pauls. Here's Nichols. Out front, try to feed it to Nichols. Puck's going to come out to center ice. Shen was lurking there, but look at this. 3-4 Americans all come back, knowing how good Shen can be shorthanded. Here's Roybal. Sends it all the way up for Farmer, but Shen's going to knock it away and right back in the zone. China came into this game with a penalty kill of 100%, but they've been scored on 3 times. They'll shovel the puck back across the red line. Roybal, Wong got a stick on it. Now here's Farmer. Good tracking there, but off the post was Farmer. Was liking the way Wong was tracking back on Roybal, but he couldn't get a stick on him. Here's Pauls at the blue line. Little slip pass for Farmer, who's got it. 2 in the game already. 10 in the tournament. Sends it off. So one of his teammates can gather it in. That just happens to be Brodie Roybal. He slides it over to Pauls. Back in, intended to go to Farmer, but Shen's going to grab it. He doesn't have enough gas in the tank to go after it, but his teammate will. Here's Wong busting in. Does a nice job. Got a decent chance away. Shen following up, but he wasn't strong enough on the puck. And USA is going to bring it back to center. A rare overskate from Farmer, but he quickly recovers. He fields it in for Roybal. Roybal shoots and scores! Waits for the goaltender, flips it right onto his own stick, flips it over top of the goaltender. It's a thing of beauty for Brodie Roybal. And long ago we were saying he's got a lot of assists, but no goals. Guess what? He's got 2 goals now. Just flips it up and over top. All the patience in the world. This by no means has been a dominating, like it's not like the ice is slanted and it's always in the Team China zone. It's just that A, they've been taking too many penalties, and so USA's had all of these power play opportunities, and B, they just take advantage of their opportunities with their great players. Grove goes back in his own zone to pick it up. So, we had a scoreless game until 11:46 into the opening period. US got 2 in the first, 3 now in the second, and with under 3.5 minutes to go in this period, they lead it 5-0. Here comes Travis Dodson busting down the right side. Drops it back for Grove. Recovers well, tries to go one stick to the other. And it's going to be pushed towards the net. China gathers it in. Here's Dodson. Here's Grove. And they'll be pounced on by Zhijian Zhao. China has made it 3 shots on Jen Li in this period. USA has managed 11 shots on Zhijian Zhao. There's a nod of acknowledgement there from Brody Roybal. Farmer and Nichols picked up the assists on that one. Back underway, another shot on Xi, and he makes the save. He's got that part mastered, flipping the puck up onto his glove hand, his trapper. See how the setup is? Top left of your screen, China is trying to spread the ice as much as they possibly can to give themselves these opportunities. But I would argue if you're going to put that player out wide like that, he's got to go. He's got to go fast. And instead, they had him kind of backing up. Nevertheless, Team China has the ability to score goals, but can they do it against this mighty American team? Jack Wallace goes back to get it. Under 2.5 to go. Period number 2. First place in the group is on the line. Americans have got 1 foot in the door already. Here's Wallace. His pass is going to find Malik Jones. He dropped it back. Didn't mean to, but he did. And then he jams on the brakes, which kept himself onside. Americans now send it in deep. And they're changing on the fly. China trying to clear it, can't do so. Here's Grove with a good play. Fights off a check. Noah Grove still with it. Another penalty coming. Are you kidding? Yes. No, I'm not. Yes, it is coming. And another Team China player being pointed at the penalty box. This is Wang Zhidong, who came into this game with 5 goals and 3 assists. Really shining for his team through the first 2 games of the tournament. 2 goals in the first, 3 goals in the second. And let's see if we can see the infraction not on that replay. 96 seconds to go in the period. Can USA add another to its tally? Here's Cunningham. He'll be playing on this power play. Grove with it. USA not using its #1 power play. They do have Farmer out, and they do have Grove out. Liam Cunningham scores scores, I think, on the deflection. If it's his first Paralympic goal. I don't think it was, no, it goes pretty much straight in. Cunningham off the goaltender and in. Just seconds after the power play started. That is one that goaltender Ji Hyun Zhao would like to have back. Was at the 13:38 mark. Frustration there from Declan Farmer towards the officials. But I don't think that's probably a battle you're going to want to have right now at this point in the tournament. And I'm not sure his coach just pointed up on the clock and said, don't worry, look at the scoreboard, we're good. USA 4 goals in the period, leads it 6-0 over China. Wang Zhuzhang, big collision there. Centering pass, Roybals got it! Oh, off the crossbar. He was on the hunt for the hat trick. Set down the ice, and they will blow it down for an icing call. China cannot change its players. USA can if they like. The linesman, he's about to drop the puck. Tricky for him to get his feet in the right position. When he drops the puck, he'll back up. He will try to exit the zone cleanly, and only the referee will be in the offensive zone. And the two linesmen will be outside the blue line. The puck is sent out to center. McKee gets a hold of it. Here's Josh Pauls. He's got Eustace with open ice. He gives it to him. Eustace holds off and checks, tries to slip a pass over there for Grove, and it's going to come back to center ice. Here's Dodson, drops it off. It was sent in by McKee. And the goaltender thought he was going to, or I thought he was going to cover it. He drops it for his teammates because he knew how much time was on the clock. Very little. 4 goals for USA in the period. They now lead it by a 6-0 score. Still 1 period to play at Milano Cortina 2026 between USA and China. Americans are dominating right now.
Goal in the second period for Team USA 12 and for People's Republic and China 3.
Well, Zhen Li had a little bit of action in that period. Had 3 shots after 2 in the first. I think he would prefer that to a game where you get none, that is for sure. Roybal, Farmer, Roybal, Cunningham. Well, there's a number 23 in the crowd. I wonder if that is the fan club of Liam Cunningham. He certainly deserves one. He has been so impressive. Just celebrated his 18th birthday while at the Paralympic Games from River Falls, Wisconsin. Not sure what else to say about the penalties for China. I like that they're trying to play aggressively against this team, not be intimidated. But end of the day, you can't be shorthanded 6 times against this team. That was a really nice save by Ji Hyun Zhao. But he couldn't stop the ball. I would hope that he's got his confidence still kept up. Because when you're playing this team, keep as many out as you possibly can. Love that he wears number 20. Tribute to the great goaltender Vladislav Tretiak. Declan Farmer, respect there for his opponents. There is no celebration. Just put the puck in the net. That was a chance for Roybal, and he made sure of it. That was his second of the game and second of the Paralympic tournament. I'm sure he wasn't troubled that he had to score. He's done all kinds of other playmaking work. And that was Cunningham's shot. And look at that, you see Declan Farmer picks up the puck. Goes in behind the goaltender. Watch the end of this play. There's Cunningham's shot. Boom, in the net. And then Declan Farmer went, picks up the puck. That puck will always be remembered. It'll be marked as such. First goal in the Paralympic Games for Liam Cunningham. Well done. 6-0 USA after 2 periods of play in Milano. Team USA fans have had everything to cheer about in this game at the Milano Santa Giulia Ice Hockey Arena. USA and China. It's a battle for first place in Group A. Both teams came in with 2-0 records, but so far it has been all the United States of America. Balls and Farmer and Roybal and Farmer and Roybal and Cunningham. The key here is that 5 of the 6 USA goals have come on the power play. They have not taken a penalty yet, but they have taken advantage of Team China's penalties in a big way. Only 1 even strength goal in the game. So if you're China, you feel good about the way your team's played at even strength. However, other than the fact that you keep taking penalties while at even strength. Team China were bronze medalists 4 years ago when they hosted the games in Beijing. USA will be a host nation again in the future. Salt Lake City is lined up to be hosting the games 8 years hence. (2034). For the second time, Salt Lake City will be a host nation at the Paralympic Winter Games. They won the gold medal, Team USA did, back in 2002, a team coached by former NHLer Rick Middleton. That was the first of 5 Paralympic golds. However, they didn't win them all in a row. They win a few games, 06, actually just one. So they just didn't win in 06, but then responded back in 2010, 2014, 2018, and 2022. There's Jen Lee playing in his 4th Paralympics. 5 shutouts in his Paralympic career coming into these games. We're looking for his 6th.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 4.
It's time, 3rd period action at the Milano Cortina 2026 Paralympic Winter Games Para Ice Hockey Tournament. USA in blue, China in yellow. And a long pass intended for Beasley. It misses him, and it'll go for an icing call. Rare icing against the United States. China played the US pretty tough the first period. It was 11.5 minutes in until the Americans scored their first goal. But that was already on their 3rd power play of the game. China will endeavor to stay out of the penalty box here. Americans 5 for 7 with the man advantage. Here's Jack Wallace. Slides a pass ahead for Beasley. Breaks through, got a pass to Nichols. Nichols does well to fight off the check. Beasley comes in to help out. Shen sends it around the boards, but kept in by USA. Here's Wallace, floats one towards the net. Malik Jones races after it. Slams into the shoulder of Shen, Ki Fang. USA changing. Less than a minute into the period. That's how they roll on the USA side. And here they go again! And here they score again! And guess who it is? Declan Farmer. And it's almost like the Team China players were saying, how did you do that? He's got a hat trick in the game. He's got 11 goals in this tournament. He's just incredible. Look at this, he's in a battle here. He's in a battle, but you'd never know it. He just sneaks his stick away from Zhu Zhanfu and slides it in the net. And 59 seconds into the 3rd period, USA opens up a 7-0 lead. be an offside call as Brett Bolton had kind of gone across the line. Well, not kind of. He went across the line just barely before the puck as it was flying through the air. It's always a bit tricky when the puck is in the air for the linesperson to make the call. But I think that was the right call. USA has already had 3 shots on goal in the period. We're barely a minute in. Farmer just directs the puck into the corner. After it goes Che Hung. It's intercepted. Here he comes again. No, this time he's shot down by Ji Yanzhao. Another penalty coming here. This one is actually going to be against Brody Roybal of the U.S. It's going to be a roughing call against Roybal. And China's going to go to its first power play of the game. See if we can see what happened. Well, let's see. Farmer waited. That's a great save by Ji Yanzhao. He follows Farmer, follows him, stays with him, and gets in front of it really smartly. So Dodson and Eustace, the penalty-killing forwards for the U.S. Long on the face-off. His team desperately trying to get something positive going before the end of this game. He's Eustace, and he'll just swat it down the ice. Ji Yanzhao comes out of his net. He'll tee it up for his teammate. Now dropped off for Zhang Zheng, and he ran into the back of the net. Eustace, he'll try to kill off as many seconds as he can. Dishes it off to Wallace. Wallace! We call that the Michigan. And I guess you could call it that in the para ice hockey game as well. Just sticks it up on top of his stick. Wong just chops the puck into the zone, which would be okay if you're killing a penalty, but you want to have possession here. And Team China is getting a real lesson in this game. An absolutely thorough effort by the Americans. Here comes China now to center ice. Trying to get something established on this power play. Some zone time, some zone pressure. Shen buzzing in towards Jen Lee's net, but he's going to hold on. Well, Jen Lee is still the keeper of record in the USA net, but it is looking like Team China has changed their goaltender. Wang Hui is in net for them. So give him some action here in the third period. He stopped 7 of 8 in their game against Italy. And he'll get tested here, but Farmer already has put one by him. So I apologize, I didn't realize that until this moment. He's a little more active in the coming out of his net, I think. Should have realized that. Here's Farmer. Got spun around onto the stick of Tianjin Tao. And just trying for that long pass instead of making sure you've got a man lined up to take it. Team China can't be super happy. They're just feeling the pressure of the 4-time champions. And instead of making the plays they know how to make, they are rushing through their plays. And the U.S. is just patient. Look how Roybal is just patiently pushes it ahead. Trying to feed it to Rowe. This is actually going to be an icing, though, against the U.S., who have killed off that penalty. Well, the officials are conversing here just as we're getting another look at this Farmer play. Look at this. He doesn't need to be upright on his blade. Right there, ear to ear, Farmer and Wang Hui. Almost like he was apologetic. Sorry, bud. I just had to put that in. That's what I do. That is my raison d'etre. That is my reason for living. It really is astonishing. 11 goals in the third game of a tournament with still 11 minutes to play. Declan Farmer on the ice right now. Out with Bolton and Roybal. He slips a pass across for Wallace. He'll step across center and then launch one in on net. Huang makes the save. But they can't clear it out. Farmer dishes for Wallace. He shoots. Nice save by Huang Wei. All the way down the ice. USA takes an icing call. One of the things we noticed early on in this game, just in contrast, USA, they just made little short passes. They got in a position to support the other player. Just a little pass. Just the player who's in a better position than you, give it to him. If he's not, keep it. You know, you don't have to send everything 30 meters down the ice or 40 or 50 meters. Sometimes just a nice little short pass will work. And they score! Out of nowhere, Team China breaks the ice. A left-hand shot from the blue line. And Tian Jintao, who's been finding ways to score throughout the tournament, just throws this one towards the net. In fact, that was Zhu Zhanfu, who's the goal scorer, number 24. And it just ekes past Jen Li, and a full celebration for Huang on the other end of the ice. China finally on the board. 4:28 officially into the third period. Tian Jintao picks up one assist, Wang Zhidong the other. So, let's see if China can maybe add one or two to that. After it goes Zhu Zhanfu, deep in his own end. And now, Dodson, taken against the boards, lost a stick in the process. China manages to bang it out to center ice. 5 minutes gone by, third period, 15-minute periods in the para ice hockey game. And here comes Dodson. He's got a man heading to the net. That was Cunningham. Beg your pardon, that was Noah Grove. McKee slips a pass back. And Tian Jintao might have got away with a bit of an elbow there. Quite the battle raging along the boards. McKee, who's come back from injury with a broken femur in the last 12 months. And now Grove digs for it. Zhu Zhanfu is there. He's Team China goal scorer in this one. But the battle just continues to rage. That's the view the referee has. Finally plucked out. No, it's not. They overskate it. It was a chance to clear by Zhang Zheng. And in tight quarters, China's going to send it around the boards. And Shen finds the puck. He has had his chances very limited in this game. It's lifted into the zone by China. Back for it goes Malik Jones. He likes what he sees, so he turns on the Jets. Wheels forward. Taken away by Shen. Couldn't keep up the forward progress. And Josh Pauls gets run over. Or sorry, Beasley got run over. He pop right back up again, though. Wallace goes back for it. He won't be getting run over anytime soon. The pass is going to be tipped out to center ice by the Americans. We've got another penalty coming here. It's going to be a teeing call. And it's going to go against China. So they're 8th time shorthanded in the game. They have given up 5 power play goals. And they'll have to battle through yet another one. This is a really impressive show being put on. Now that's not a penalty. That's nothing wrong with that hit from Wong on Beasley. USA, power play. Farmer, Roybal, Nichols, Halls, and Wallace, the 5-man unit on the ice. In fact, it is Grove who's playing the second point position in place of Josh Pauls. Noah Grove back behind his net. Slides a pass ahead for Pauls, the all-world defenseman. Ahead for Roybal. He's got Farmer moving. Spins with it. Gets a pass almost to Nichols. It's broken up by Team China. And they're going to just push it off the boards to center. Tian couldn't make the play on offense, so he just plays it safe. But here come the Americans right back in again. China was changing its penalty killers. Farmer dances through a couple of men, but it slides off to the corner. Kept alive by the U.S. Centering pass. Here's Roybal is going to go after it. Back to Grove. Got a bit of room. To the net he goes. Snaps a shot. Saved by Huang. Wang Zhejiang now trying to clear it for China. They can't get it past Wallace. He'll drop it off for Farmer. Leaves for Roybal. Nice little dangle. Hughes might have been trying to flip it up on his stick as well. Roybal from his side. Lying down, slides it back for Wallace. It'll be chopped out of the air by China, and here they come back. But Wallace just tracks down Tianjin Tao. It was at the end of a shift, and he's gone to the bench. Here comes Farmer back in again, got spun around. Wallace follows up, snaps it wide. Shen's gonna rim it around the boards, and it's gonna go all the way down the ice. So China has effectively killed off that penalty. Now they'll try to stay out of the box and maybe create some opportunities. But here comes USA again. This is going to be an offside. Declan Farmer with a head of steam at the blue line. And he's not going to get a chance to finish that rush. One of his teammates offside. 7-1 though, USA leads it over China. Malik Jones was kind of dodging out of the way that time and then lost his edge. And Farmer wraps his arm right around Chu Yu Tao. Didn't see that one. It was so down close to the boards and to the ice. Well, they're all close to the ice. Good play there by Liu, who's got a couple of penalties in the game already, but he stayed out of the box in that case. But lots of photographic moments in this game. But David Hoff's team is in full control, leading 7-1 with 5:48 on the clock. Wang against Eustace. Won by China. Launch a long pass to center. Shen will try to get on the other end of it. He does. Pauls takes him against the end boards, though. Shen keeps pushing forward. Good play by the Team China star, but smart play by the American captain. China's going to keep it in, though. They'll rim it around the boards. Zhang trying to get to it. Just a little bit sloppy there by China, trying to get their confidence back. Probably came into this game with lots of it. Now they give up a chance. Here's Dodson's shot. That was blocked. Eustace. Cunningham leaves it for Dodson. He'll chop it back into the corner for McKee. Referee was watching very closely that collision with Zhu and McKee. Under 5 minutes to play in the third period. Team China, the good news is they are even with USA here in the period. It's 1-1, but it's 7-1 overall. Here's Wang. He's got Shen with him. Slides him a pass. Wasn't expecting it quite yet. And Wallace is going to come back and just break up the play like that. Shen gets it back again, but all he can do is push it to an open wing. Wallace is going to follow up. Took a hard hit from Shen. And Wallace is going to take a roughing penalty here. He kind of punched at Shen as he was coming by. And China's going to have a chance to go on the power play. I'm going to call it a boarding penalty, I think, or maybe a teeing penalty, but I thought it was roughing. But I won't second guess referee Kevin Webinger. Timeout has been called by Team China. They really want a power play goal here.
Timeout, Repubblica Popolare Cinese.
Yeah, good idea here to call this timeout by Nikolai Sharshouskov, the head coach of Team China. His team came into this game working at an 80% clip on the power play. I think he really wants his players to do a reset right here. Yes, you're playing against the United States, but let's try to get our plays going. Let's concentrate on what we do well. Let's make sharp, crisp passes, maybe shorter passes. Let's get our best players in position to try to score a goal. Because your next game will be your semi-final game, and that will decide if you are battling for gold or battling for bronze. All right, let's see what China can organize here. Wang Zhidong, the captain on the face-off, wins the draw. They get a quick shot off the face-off. Now the key is to keep the puck in. So far, so good by Che Hong. Americans, though, are going to have a chance to clear it, and they will. Just out. Pretty good effort there by Song Zhidong. Dropped off for Che Hong. Here's Wang across the blue line. Puck in open ice. This is really interesting. China's got a power play, but they don't have Shen He Fang on the ice. Their leading scorer in the tournament. Trying to say to the other players, hey guys, it's up to you to try to do this. I suspect we'll see him at some point. There's a long shot. Jen Lee saw it at the last moment, reacted to it. Here's Wang Zhidong. Gets some help. You want to have at least as many China players on the puck as American players because they're the ones who are shorthanded. Often teams will outnumber them in the corner. Just over 2.5 to go in the game. 40 seconds to go in the penalty. China tracks back in their own zone with She Hong. Lost his edges. Puck slides back into the corner. It'll be tipped back by Huang Zhu Zhang. Farmer out in a penalty-killing role. He'll loft it to the front of the net for Eustace. Eustace under pressure. Down to the final seconds of this power play. And it is over. And Jack Wallace is back on the ice. Wouldn't be surprised if the puck finds him. It does. He's got to wait for his teammate. He does a nice job to stay off the puck. So there's no intentional offside. Tian, and it's going to be shot into the zone by Huang Zhidong. He's going to head to the bench. USA regroups in its own zone. Out they come to center with Eustace. His pass finds Dodson across the blue line. Curls back with it. The Gretzky curl. Now Nichols. It's swatted off into the corner. I think the Chinese player knocked it off the stick. We got a penalty coming here, though. It's a roughing call. And again, the penalty box of Team China is opening. And in goes Tian Jintao. Comes with just 1:08 to play in the third period. Frustration for sure. See, he wears gloves under his gloves. Not sure how many players do that. Quite a few? I'm being told that yes, quite a few do, in fact. Loose puck inside the face-off area. It's a mad scramble for it. Jones is going to come up with it. Surveys the scene, makes a nice little short pass for Grove. Cunningham after it. Back into the corner it goes, and Zhu Zhanfu is going to have a chance to do something with it. He'll launch it down the ice, which he can do because his team is shorthanded. So Shen is being rested here in the late stages of this game. Interesting call for Team China. Here's Malik Jones. Spins away from his check, flips one out. Actually, Shen is on the ice, my mistake. So he is out there, in fact. Just noticed him as he was kind of close to the boards. We're in the final seconds of this one, though. And maybe a chance for Shen. He's drawn a penalty. They're going to blow it down with 2 seconds left, 1:8 to be official. Malik Jones is going to go to the box for roughing. That will be recorded as a 2-minute penalty, but he's only going to serve 1.8 seconds. It'll be 4-on-4. China will maybe try to get a shot on goal here. Chen couldn't shoot it in time. So, a master class put on by Team USA. 2 goals in the first, 4 in the second, add 1 for safety in the third. China manages to get on the board, but that was it. 7-1 is how it ends. Team USA will win Group A with a 3-0 record, and they'll move into the semifinals to play the second-place team in Group B. Captain Josh Paul scored his first of the tournament. Jen Lee makes 8 saves on 9 shots. USA outshoots China 31-9, outscores them 7-1. Bit of a frustrating night, or game, I should say. Not nighttime. Bit of a frustrating effort for Team China. And they just couldn't get their offense going. And you could just kind of see the frustration developing through the game. But don't forget, they are playing number 16, Declan Farmer, the best player in the world, and overall the best team in the para ice hockey world.
And congratulations on the winning team, United States of America.
Rivolgiamo un grande applauso a entrambe le squadre per l'impegno straordinario dimostrato nel corso di questa partita e congratulazioni alla squadra vincitrice, la squadra degli Stati Uniti d'America.
Well, when the stats pop up, you're going to see the U.S. dominated in a number of ways, including face-offs, won about 64% of the draws did Josh Paul's team. 18 minutes in penalties is how this game will be remembered. USA wound up going 5 of 9 on the power play.
Next game may proceed to the Spectator Plaza, where your ticket will be re-scanned for entry to the
Team China 0 for 3, although they,
If you have a ticket for the following game, please.
in fact, they only went 0 for 2 because that last penalty won't count. Teams put them at 4 on 4. But the bottom line is, Team China is through to the next round. They'll go to the semifinals despite a 7-1 loss against the United States. USA wins the group 3-0, and they're in great shape.
Our next para ice hockey game here at the Milano Santa Giulia Ice Hockey Arena is starting today at 17:05. It features Team Canada and Team Czechia.
La nostra prossima partita di para ice hockey qui alla Milano Santa Giulia Ice Hockey Arena inizierà alle ore 17:05 e vedrà affrontarsi Canada contro Cechia.
Meatball 2026 Organizing Committee hopes you had a pleasant day and thank you for your participation in this table.
Il comitato organizzatore di Milano Cortina 2026 spera che abbiate apprezzato il trascorso, una piacevole giornata e vi ringrazia per la vostra partecipazione all'evento di oggi.
Follow staff instructions for exit with all of your belongings. Thank you for your cooperation.
Declan Farmer, Brody Roybal, and the Team USA Stars were just a little too much for Team China in this one. It ends with a 7-1 victory for the United States over the People's Republic of China. USA wins Group A. China finishes second.